Hey guys, and welcome back to another recap. In this recap, we've got the Richmond Tigers blowing over the top of Carlton, 82-69. I'm still honestly in shock, and we are, 12 hours post siren. What did we just witness? Richmond were absolutely electric in the second half. They kicked 12 of the last 14 goals, I think. Carlton were 5 goals for at quarter time, and they ended up doubling their score in the last three quarters effectively. It was just weird. Nothing more really to say about this in the intro, and let's just jump straight into this. So, Nank the Tank, 123, 114. I thought he would be an option, and I still think he will potentially be an option for those that have him. I'm just a little bit disappointed that for those that did start him, that he did go the negative split in terms of the DT to Supercoach. I would have probably liked to have, for the game he played, probably seen a 135 or something like that in the Supercoach column, but it is what it is. Jack Ross, that was amazing, but he's not going to do this on the regular. 28, 5 and 4 with 2 goals is quite ridiculous. Tom Dow, 95. Who the heck saw this coming? He was pretty good. I don't know what he's priced at in terms of Supercoach, but I don't think he's priced that amazingly. If we just go to players here, we go to Dow, 321k, so that break-even's going to drop, but that's not going to be too fantastic in terms of cash generation because he's priced at like 60. If I just show you guys here quickly, say he was to somehow go 100, then he'd go at 54.40, but he's not going to do that. We don't expect, so that's not going to happen. Taranto butchered the ball. Sam Van Klang is at 50%, 89-69 split. Vloston 85-101 for an 81, and the big story, I think a lot of content creators, and we do this quite a lot, and it's something that we probably need to get better about, is we like to have jokes about players doing absolutely poorly, players doing this, we got to chuck this guy, he didn't look good, I've been suckered in again, etc. I think we just need to calm down with Jaden Short. It wasn't the worst. When Carlton were on top and they were up 4 goals, he was on 59 at halftime. That translates to a 118-120 split because it was on 60 Supercoach. He got tagged in the second half, which for Carlton that was stupid because they lost. But also, he barely touched the ball when Richmond were going really well, and we don't expect Richmond to go really well. So one of the only downsides I think with Short was that Vloston was taking quite a few of the kick-ins. I don't know exactly what it was. Let me just check on my phone and stuff. Have it there for us. But I think Short might have taken 6 out of the 16 or 15, sorry. Let me just double check in with that. Short was at 7 out of 15. Vloston 5, Brown 2, Trainer 1. So, not the worst there. I think he just got a little bit unlucky that he only had 19, 5 and 4. I did really like that the non-disposals were up, but yeah, probably just needs that extra 4 to 5 kicks. And if he goes 100, then that's perfect. So, don't go the early crow and say, he's done because of one game. Usually when we're flipping mid-prices and stuff like that, after one game, it's because they had a 30 or a 40, something like that low, or a 50, something like that, or they got injured. Not an 85 middling score because these guys can go up crazy. The next game, I don't know an exact example. Let me just see if I can find one. What did Crouch do the first game? I'm just going to see in terms of what did Crouch do the first game last year, because I feel like he was one that people... Crouch did... that's 2023. 2024, he did 113th. What did Ollie Wines do? Because a lot of people jumped... you know who the best example is? Probably this, Nick Martin. If we go to here and go to 2024 round 1, he did a 93 in terms of fantasy. Let's go to Supercoach because that is sort of a reference there. But in terms of Supercoach as well, he did a 63, then a 93, and then suddenly went off. So here's what I'm saying about this is don't jump the early crow, because look at this. He had 25 touches, 6 and 2, and he went 63 in that back line, and then still was a top-of-the-line guy throughout the whole year just because he had the role there. I'm not so worried about Jaden Short just yet. If he does do another 85 or something like that and then doesn't really get going, then maybe we can look at first upgrade being him. But it isn't the worst outcome if he just holds price, because you're going to have failed picks. That's the way fantasy is. And Supercoach, if you guys do have everything, if we were 100% right, then it wouldn't be fun, because there'd be quite a lot of us doing that and the game would be, it wouldn't be as fun. Obviously, you're going to have failed. It's how you respond to them. And I think Jaden Shaw's role looks good. And it's just a matter of Richmond being worse than this, but also Carlton actually doing something, because that was insipid, I think is the word to say, from Carlton. And it just proved with Richmond. Like, who does Richmond have next week? Let's just go to Richmond. I don't have any Richmond players, actually. So let's have... Oh, no, I do. I do have trainer here. Let's go to... Richmond have Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval next week. And then they have St Kilda. And then they've got Brisbane. I think Port Adelaide could put a... Even though Port Adelaide are supposedly supposed to be bad, I think they could put a score on. So, moving on from Short. Hopper, McIntosh, Layla. And here's another one that I want to sort of comment on, I would say. Layla had 18 and 2. 18 disposals, 2 goals, and he scored a 68-74 split. Take those 2 goals out, let's just say, because I don't think he's going to kick 2 goals regularly. Maybe he kicks a 1 goal per game type of guy as a half forward. But let's just take those 2 goals out. He scores a 56 in fantasy. He also had quite a lot of handballs in that second half, because he was on, I think, a 29 or something at halftime with a goal already. Like in the last quarter, he had He had 4 touches and a 17 with a goal in it. In the third quarter, he had a 24-point third quarter there, where he had a goal and... so he had a 41-point second half there. If you take out all those, a 41-point second half, if you take out the 2 goals there and look at that back, he was on 27 at halftime. Double that, that's a 54. Okay, so I think he lands somewhere in that 55 to 65 range for what he's like priced at or whatever. He's probably going to get forward status, which will help a little bit in terms of his longevity, but I don't think about too much an impact. But if he's averaging, say, 60, because that's in the middle, 60-60 split, you might as well get someone that's 200, like Camporelli went 76 or whatever. He's going to outprice Layla quick smart. He's going to go and rock it out of there, because let's just look at the cash generation for it, and then I'll show you why I'm referencing these 2. And then in terms of Supercoach as well, you'll see that those 2 are, if we go to Layla and go, he scored a 68. Let's just put him at a 68, right? So he's going to gain 30k roughly, it says here. Whereas Camporali, if we go to Lucas, scoring a 76, he's going to gain 46k, then 76k, and then 86k if he does that. So he'll be 438k at the end of round 3. Layla will be 475. So there's 37k gap there when there was 110. So he's already gained, 73k on Layla for scoring 8 more. And if you look at the Supercoach side, it's awfully similar in terms of, well, actually, Lucas did butcher the ball. So they might go up at the same rate, but you're saving 80k for the same rate rise. And also we expect Layla to get a little bit worse. So I expect those two to probably score roughly similar, 60 or so. And one of them's 110k more than the other, simply put. Banks, 64. Luke Traynor, I thought he did all right. Had a couple of clangers, which was bad. But in the end, he ended up on a 62-50 split. If he's... he had a couple of intercepts that he burned straight away, which would have helped him out, I think. But I think he could have easily ended up on a 60. I think he'll be fine when the ball starts coming back down their back into Richmond's half more regularly. And so I expect him to probably average 60, which is fine at the D7, D6 sort of range. Bauer, Miller, Seth Campbell, no one else here really to talk about. Armstrong at 38, just annoying in terms of he's not going to do much, I don't think. Then we get over to TDK from Carlton. He's going to blow it away quite quickly. If we look at he's going to gap quite quickly up to the top guys. If we look at the ruck line and we go TDK, so that 132 that he did score, He's going to go up 38k just straight off that, which is absolutely huge. He's pretty much already gapped it to a lot of other guys like O'Brien. Briggs is going to go down heavily, so there's that for you guys as well. But yeah, he's going to go up quite crazy. Nank as well did a 124 or something, so he's going to go up. 123 for Nank, so he's going to go up as well, quite a dramatic 19k. So yeah, if the likes of De Koning can just go even just 100 from here, he almost bridges that gap quickly. If he goes 100, he goes up to 1 million. So 100k in 3 weeks, and suddenly you pretty much got him up to Xeri territory. If Tristan goes a 105 in the first 3 weeks, that gap from, 275k is down to 139 if Cherry goes a 105. If he goes 100, then that's even more pronounced. It's another 20k off. So yeah, I think these De Koning, huge buy for those that did the obvious. And he's now, what was he ownership wise? Cherry TDK was 43% owned, so most of the people jumped on him, and he produced a massive game, especially because he was on 45 at halftime. He's had an 87 second half, which I'm pretty sure was about a 75 Supercoach score in the second half or something like that. I think it was on, he might have been 66 at halftime in Supercoach, so he might have scored an 87-82 split. But yeah, that was huge. Paddy Cripps, yep. George Hewitt. Chera, I'd be quite almost disappointed in a way. And if I had owned him, I feel like because this should have been that 120 game, he got a lot of easy ball, got a couple of tackles that were probably a little bit easy, etc. So for him to end up on a 97-106, it's an all right start for those people that had him. But I'd be worried that a better opponent like he has next week. He's got Hawthorn next week. I could easily see him dropping like an 80, and suddenly it's like it's a dead pick almost in a way to a certain extent. But I was saying that about the likes of Jaden Short, but also Jaden Short has on his side that he's in the defender line that has bugger all, whereas Chera has Day, Oliver, Callahan, picks like that. Jack Silvani, 93-100. Blake Acres, 92-60. Wiedering. Silvani's probably an interesting one. Probably just on the bubble type of selection if you want to go there in Supercoach. It's 250k. He could generate some cash quickly if he gets the for Supercoach on the bubble. He could be minus 100 break even or something dumb like that. Let's just put it in the calculator that he goes 100 and then 80s. So if he goes, we'll do this 80 here and then goes, that's the fantasy one. Let's go to Supercoach for a second here. Supercoach price projector. Let's go to Silvani because he's a little bit less. I think he might be actually more expensive in Supercoach than he is in fantasy. Then we go to say 80s, and then we also go here and say 100. 51k if he goes 80-80. So that'll be interesting if he's on the bubble at whatever he'd be at. But yeah, that'll be definitely a little bit interesting. If we go to where's Silvani here? Let's just check if this is right on this one as well, because that's definitely an interesting one that he scored a right, and we'll see how he goes against Hawthorn. But say he goes 80, let's just see, 42k cash generation there. And then if we put that up, it's up to 302k, which is roughly what they had him similar enough to there with that. Let's just project that. Yeah, 311.6 and 311.6. So yeah, that sort of shows, and he get up very, very quickly up to like 360k. So that could be an option if he does produce another 80 or 90 plus score. If he goes 100 again, that will be quite interesting. I feel like if he goes, say, a 95, then suddenly that cash generation there, he gets up pretty quickly, and say this was an 85 or something like that. With the 100 score here, you suddenly start to see him generate some much needed cash generation. So yeah, it would definitely be interesting, I feel like, with Silvani, just to watch how he goes next week, because if he pulls off a big one, he could be a guy that generates a lot of cash. But I don't remember what he scored in the last quarter because I thought he did really well last quarter in terms of scoring. He scored a 28 last quarter in terms of fantasy. So he had a 50-point second half. So yeah, other than the first quarter, he did really, really well, Silvani. So that's an interesting one to watch. Akers, Wiedering, Walsh, Cowan, Camperelli, 76-56 split. It's all right. Hollands, 72-79. It was not that good for Hollands. He didn't get the cheap ball. He had to really work for it. 5 contested possessions out of his 19. He didn't get the marks up, which is an interesting one to look at and wait and see about that one. So I wouldn't be jumping off just yet for those that have him, unless someone like a Peatling went 100 or something like that, because Hollands beat his break even, but he didn't look good. That's the problem, whereas Short did look good when he had it. So yeah, just a slight little difference there in, I guess, interpretation or analysis. Lord, I thought was a little bit surprising to get subbed off. Haynes, he looked pathetic. Mackay, Cottrell, Doherty looked really good in his 27% time on ground for a 56. He had 14, 2 and 3 and 2 missed shots as well from the sub. McGovern, Williams, Fogarty, Motlock, Kemp, and then Francis Evans as well. And that pretty much is the video there going through these guys. Not too many guys interesting. Probably just a wait and watch on Short Layla Trainer, as well as Camperali. I think is going to get away in fantasy very, very quickly. So you've probably got a correction trade to him. And then you've also got I wouldn't probably buy into Chera, but definitely wouldn't sell him. And then Silvani's probably just a wait and watch because he's done pretty well with 16, 8 and 4, and a goal as well. But he could easily drop a 40. So just wait and watch on that one. But anyway, that is the video there going through the first game recap. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, remember to like and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload. If you're listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating over there. And I will see you guys on, probably I'll record it on the Saturday night or something. I'll see how it goes. Maybe in the halftime I get one of the reviews or 2 of the reviews out for the Friday and the first Saturday game. But I'll see you guys then. Bye guys.